Kelenic now back in Tacoma. Kyle Lewis getting a second opinion on his meniscus. We're not sure about the results. We're not sure when we're going to see him again this year. Evan White having the struggles that he had before he got injured. To me, the process of this rebuild, the actual steps forward, have hit a wall. And at the very least, for now, there is a pause button. That pause button makes me feel like the idea of the Mariners contending, being a serious playoff team next year, while it was probably far-fetched to begin with, it's even more far-fetched now. And that's the biggest bummer to me. Now let's go back to Kelenic. Gary Hill was on the station yesterday, and he thinks that for Kelenic, there are some reasons that his struggles were as pronounced as they were.
The other thing to keep in mind that I think is even different than any other years you want to compare it to is any young player, not just Kelenic, they're being dropped into a very difficult hitting environment. I think it's the most difficult since 1968. You look at the numbers, and hitting is really, really hard. It's as hard as it's ever been. And hitting for a young guy is really hard, and you put that together, and it's difficult. It's really difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult, but at the same time, it's not going to change anytime soon. I don't think baseball's about to step in and stop this epidemic that they seem to have going on where pitchers are putting whatever lotion and potion they can put on the baseball so that these things move in a wacky way that makes it even more difficult to hit already. I mean, they're hurling it. The spin rate's increasing and increasing and increasing, and these fastballs are now all of a sudden starting to move. So, yeah, it's difficult for Jarred Kelenic. No doubt about it. Maybe he goes down to the minors and he's able to refine himself, but it's hard to imagine that that's going to be something that takes place overnight. And we just heard when Shannon Drayer joined us this morning that there is this sense that it's not just his approach at the plate that needs work. It's also just an ability to handle his frustrations when he fails. It's the first time, as 21 years old, that he's probably ever failed in his athletic career. After less than 100 at-bats at the AA level, after, 5 games at the AAA level? So, I mean, there are reasons that you could take a look at Kelenic, and I don't think that all is lost with him. All I am saying is that I thought that by the end of the year, we would feel closer next season to potentially seeing this team in a situation where we've been waiting to see them, which is at the very least relevant and competitive. And it just doesn't feel that way right now. It feels like we all need to wait for the next prospect to come up, and hopefully that guy works out. Cal Raleigh, bring him up. I don't care. Bring him up. Noelvi Marte, we jumped from 61 to 19 in the Baseball America prospect rankings. That's something. Bring him up. Until I see another young prospect up, for me, it's just going to be tough to sit and watch this team admirably tread water, but tread water. Run differential is one of the worst in the American League. Odds are that things are probably going to fall back to earth. And they deserve a lot of credit for being able to fight through it the way that they are. And I'm not expecting them or demanding that they contend this year. I'm not. I don't want it to sound like that either. All I am saying is it is a massive bummer for all of us right now because it does feel like the idea of this team contending with Kelenic going down back to the minors, it just feels further away.